This is Dialed In with Derek Simmons and Rachel Thorne. Let's talk compliance.
Welcome back to the show. Today we're talking about something that's not flashy but could absolutely wreck a company using conversational AI.
TCPA compliance.
The Telephone Consumer Protection Act, aka the reason some companies wake up to a lawsuit that costs more than their entire AI program was supposed to save.
And what makes this conversation urgent is simple. Most AI voice vendors say they're TCPA compliant, but operationally, they're not. They're quietly violating it every day.
That's a strong claim.
It's not a claim about intent. It's a claim about execution. TCPA isn't a checkbox. It's an operational discipline. Regulators and plaintiff attorneys don't care what you put on your website. They care what you can prove happened, call by call.
And we're going to break down where most AI voice companies fail, and why some companies, like 2X Solutions, built the tools companies need to be compliant into their platform, not as an afterthought. Let's start with the big picture. Why are we even having this conversation? Isn't TCPA just don't spam people?
If it were that simple, there wouldn't be billion-dollar industries around compliance, suppression lists, audit trails, and class action defense. TCPA governs automated calls, AI voice agents, pre-recorded and synthetic voices, basically the exact world conversational AI lives in.
So AI doesn't get a pass?
Zero pass. AI does not get a TCPA exemption. If anything, AI increases the risk because it can scale behavior, good or bad, instantly.
And the penalties?
The classic TCPA range is $500 to $1,500 per call or text. That's per violation per contact attempt. And class actions aren't possible, they're common. A mistake can become an existential company risk.
So what's the illusion?
Most AI voice companies market TCPA compliant, like it's a feature. But compliance is not a feature. Compliance is part of the system. If some of the TCPA features are not programmed at the platform level, it's wishful thinking that any company can be compliant at all.
Let's hit the biggest issue first, consent.
Consent is the #1 TCPA failure. Here's what TCPA effectively requires in practice: explicit, documented consent tied to the phone or text number and the purpose. And you have to prove it on demand.
Okay, but whose responsibility is getting the consent?
The company whose client is being called, they need to get the consent up front before any calls or texts are made.
And there's also this nuance people miss. Human consent isn't necessarily AI consent, right?
Exactly. Consent not being AI specific is a ticking time bomb. A lead may have agreed to be contacted by a company, by an agent, in some format, but TCPA enforcement trends and FCC direction increasingly focus on how automated and synthetic outreach is handled. If the consent language, collection method, and purpose aren't defensible, you're exposed. So companies need the right consent.
So this is a company responsibility?
Yes. Then you need the AI platform you're using have the tools and features available so you can continue to be compliant. So let's examine what that looks like.
Opt-out seems straightforward. Someone says stop, you stop.
You'd think. TCPA requires immediate opt-out recognition. Opt-out must stop calls instantly, apply across systems, and persist.
Where do vendors mess this up?
Delayed opt-out processing's common. Some systems only process opt-outs after the day is over,
which is already too late if the person gets another call later. Or opt-out applies to one campaign but
Wow.
not others. So the person keeps getting contacted by a completely different workflow on the same platform.
That's the nightmare scenario. I told you to stop, and the system keeps going.
Exactly. That's how companies get dragged into a claim that feels personal to the consumer and expensive to the business.
2x advantage?
Real-time opt-out enforcement, global suppression across workflows, and no grace period violations. If someone opts out, they're done, everywhere on the platform. And they send the opt-out data immediately back to the company CRM so they know to opt the person out on their end as well.
Let's talk about how AI dialing logic can accidentally break the law.
Call timing and frequency violations are huge. TCPA includes time of day restrictions and expects reasonable calling behavior. Competitors often optimize for volume, not legality.
Like a growth team's dream and a legal team's nightmare.
Exactly. Common failures: time zone misalignment, calling based on your server time instead of consumer local time, retry logic that crosses the 2 and 3 call per day harassment thresholds, no frequency caps per consumer. It's conversion hacks built into the dialer.
And 2x?
Automated time zone aware calling, frequency caps enforced at the platform level, and retry logic designed for compliance, not just conversion.
Disclosure is getting more attention now, right?
Yes. Consumers must know they're speaking to AI, the purpose of the call, and who is calling. Where other vendors fail is by hiding or delaying AI disclosure, or the AI improvises disclosures incorrectly.
That improvisation part is scary because one wrong phrase at scale becomes a pattern.
Exactly. 2x handles this with mandatory AI disclosure.
DNC lists. What goes wrong here?
TCPA requires scrubbing against the national DNC, several state DNCs, and prior opt-outs. If the platform doesn't offer this feature, how are you supposed to comply?
So if a lawsuit happens, nobody can prove when the scrub happened, or if it happened.
Exactly. 2x offers an automated, continuous DNC scrubbing using the customer's DNC SANS number. The company 2x works with need to purchase the DNC list, but 2x can scrub their lists in real time, free of charge.
Okay, if you could only pick one reason companies lose TCPA cases, what is it?
Documentation. TCPA lawsuits are won on documentation, not intent. Plaintiff attorneys don't argue what you meant, they argue what you can't prove.
Say that again.
If it isn't logged, time-stamped, and retrievable, legally it did not happen.
What are companies supposed to log?
Call detail records, AI disclosure and identification, including script versions, opt-out and revocation logs with exact timestamps and propagation proof, call frequency and attempt limits, and call recording consent if recordings are enabled.
And retention.
This is the rule most companies ignore. Regulatory expectation often points to 5 years retention for the records that matter. TCPA lawsuits can show up years later, when companies have scaled, vendors have changed, and data is missing. If you can't produce records on demand, you lose automatically.
That's brutal.
That's real.
So what does 2x do?
2x retains call records for 5 years, audit-ready logs by default, immutable timestamps, and script-level traceability.
And the bigger idea is compliance is not optional or editable.
Exactly. Disclosure language enforced. Call timing enforced by zip code or area code. Frequency caps enforced automatically. No reliance on customer memory or promises.
So here's the hard truth. Most AI conversational companies move fast, cut corners, and hope enforcement lags innovation.
But TCPA enforcement is accelerating, not slowing down. And AI increases liability. It doesn't reduce it.
The real takeaway for companies buying AI conversational AI, if your vendor can't prove opt-out propagation, prove call timing, prove DNC scrubbing, and produce 5 years of logs,
Then you are the one holding the bag.
that's right. No company can be compliant if their AI platform isn't.
Because TCPA isn't a feature, it's survival.
That's it for today. If you're evaluating AI voice vendors, ask one question. Can you prove compliance, call by call, on demand? And then watch what happens.
See you next time.